So I do have a PowerPoint presentation that I have prepared and can share. And then we'll just maybe start that way. And then at any time, just feel free to ask me a question. Just so you guys know, this session is being recorded. The hope is that OC will have them posted on the open house page, I believe, when everything is said and done. So do you have any questions about that?
Nope.
No? Okay. I will jump right into screen sharing. So the thing when I start screen sharing, I am not able to see the chat. So I will intermittently stop screen sharing and check the chat. But if you have anything that you want to ask, just feel free to turn on your mic and speak out. All right?
Okay.
Okay, let's start. All right, do you guys see the full PowerPoint presentation, or what do you guys see?
I see the first page.
Perfect. All right. So just so you know, this open house part here is about our early childhood education program at Okanagan College. And as I've told you, this session is being recorded. And on our next page here, I'm not sure if you guys pre-registered or not, but there is, if you've pre-registered, you're automatically entered into a draw for $5,000 tuition credit. And if you didn't pre-register, you still have time by going to this link here. And I do have the link again at the end of the presentation. So what we'll go through today, oh, and by the way, my name's Terry Russell. I'm the chair of the Early Childhood Program, and I teach in a few of the courses as well. So I've got a couple multi-hats wearing right now at the program. So overall, our program, it's a 2-year diploma program. Most of this information you can find on our tab as well in the program tab through the Okanagan website. You do have the option of exiting our program after 3 semesters, and you're eligible to seek out an early childhood education certificate. And then our 4th semester includes a specialty certificate, so working with children with special needs, how to operate and own your own daycare, the administration part, and some more courses related to infant toddler certificate. And our program has 3 full-time instructors and 2 part-time instructors. There's such a demand for early childhood educators right now in our field that the government has been opening up a lot of one-time funded type programs. So I'm not sure what this next couple of years will look like, but in the past we've had programs run in Vernon, Salmon Arm. I think that's it for right now, and I'm not sure where they're looking for in the future, but this is our full-time main program, and this is what I know for sure is happening. Any questions so far? Alrighty. So we prepare our students to work with children in many childcare environments. So group childcare, multi-age care, after-school care, and infant toddler care. After-school care is the only program where you don't have to have an early childhood certificate to practice to work in, but we do go through development on promoting programming for children from 0 to 12. Our hope is at the end of our program that you're looking at children as far as where they're at developmentally, what their interests are, what their needs and strengths are, where families are at, how we support families and communities, and then that's how we promote our programming. Some people think that coming into our program, we're going to learn about, you know, lots of ways to play with children and doing, say, crafts and stuff, and absolutely that is part of our program. But our underlying foundation is getting to know development and how to promote children to get to the next step in a sense of kindergarten readiness, but not looking at kindergarten readiness in the same sense of ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, rather supporting that social emotional growth, as we all know is so important, especially in today's pandemic world where social emotional plays such a key part in all our overall health. Any questions yet? Not yet? Okay. All right, this is a quick view of our program. It's a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie. Students are quite busy. We have one intake only, and that intake starts in September of every year. And so our semesters follow the same semester system as a university transfer course. So September to December, January to April. We do not have any semesters that run through the summertime other than our infant toddler, which I'll get to in just a minute. But right off the top, we start grooming, preparing, promoting value of relationships, whether that's relationships with your colleagues, relationships with parents, and building relationships with children. We start the focus on theory and working with children and how we support children and what development looks like from birth to age 12. And we move into some fun stuff. Usually we have children from the on-campus daycare come into our classroom and we do workshops with the children. Unfortunately, with the COVID pandemic happening, we're making some alterations to how we're doing our program planning with children right now. We start with professionalism, understanding our code of ethics, who we're responsible for in the community, such as, say working with occupational therapists, speech therapists, parents, pediatricians, licensing, the ministry. And we also start you looking at children, looking where they're at development. How are they holding on to pens and pencils? How are they talking to other children? How are they engaging themselves into play? And we also have you out into a childcare program and seeing what it's like. Any questions on semester one or what September intakes look like? Not yet? Okay. Semester two, we continue right on through, again, promoting more working with others. So getting to know yourself and say triggers of how you support working with others and how we build those relationships, because children feed off a lot of what's going on with the adults in their world. So when we're the only adults with them for 8 hours a day in some cases, how do we make that a happy place to be for them? We talk about health, safety, nutrition, educating, mentoring, how we share that information with parents, how we bring community in, so families get to know what else is out in the community that they can bring their children to, and a lot of talk about families, where we've come from, where children are coming from, and just the value and how important families are when we're working with children. You get to know about guiding and caring, how we have positive interactions with children, and still reinforce those boundaries of what children are allowed to do and not allowed to do. And again, a practical experience. All of our semesters contain a piece of practicum. And each semester we expect more and more, and you do more and more in each practicum experience. Any questions on semester one and two? Okay. So semester three starts again in the following September. Again, we focus a little bit more on professionalism, how we advocate for children and families, move into advanced program planning, looking at outdoor programs. If you were to graduate out at the end of semester three, how would you be able to manage that whole program on your own with a group of 8 to 10 children? So that's where this semester kind of gears you towards. And again, strength in working with families and community. And this semester introduces you to working with infants and toddlers, about relationships, working with them, and again, practical experience. You do have the option at the end of semester three to be able to graduate out and apply to the ECE registry for a certificate to practice. I'll talk about that in the next slide coming up. We strongly encourage all of our students to continue on through semester four. So semester 4 provides more specialty skills. So you get your final coursework in working with infants and toddlers. You get administration work. So if you ever wanted to own your own childcare program, this course really helps you build up your policies. And working with children with special needs, you get your certificate specialty with that coursework there. And again, some practical experience. Any questions on semester 3 and 4? Alrighty. So here's the infant toddler certificate. So you've done, I'll go back here. So you've done all your coursework here by the end of semester 4, and you would graduate out with an OC diploma at the end of semester 4. Once you've done all your coursework in semester 4 and your semester 4 practicum, you can join into our Complete Our Infant Toddler certificate. And it's about a 7-week practicum, so there's no more coursework. It's strictly a practicum, and it's about 6.5, 7 weeks, depending on the days of practicum that's scheduled. And that goes from May to June. So this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier. So if you complete your first 3 semesters, you satisfy the requirements through the Early Childhood Registry, the Ministry of Children and Family Development, and the Community Cares licensing, and you're able to apply and get a certificate to practice as an early childhood educator. Any questions on that one? Okay. And then this one are 4th semesters. So again, you get your, you satisfy the requirements, you're able to apply for a certificate to practice as an early childhood educator, and you apply for a special certificate for a special needs educator. And once you've completed our infant toddler practicum, you can apply for the certificate for as an infant toddler educator. So completing all 4 semesters plus the practicum here, you now would end up with 3 certificates. All right. Any questions on those to date? Good? Okay. So basically, I don't know how much you guys are aware of the early childhood field right now or what's going on in the communities. ECEs are in high demand in all communities in our province and nationally as well. So there's been a lot of funding and support for students to get bursaries and scholarships through our current government. You get opportunity to work in group childcare, preschool, infant toddler care, and some people go on and open up their own childcare business. All of our graduates are pretty much hired right at the end of practicum or during practicum. There's never a shortage of openings out there for our graduates. And then if you're interested in continuing on into obtaining a degree, the government is in the process of working up to promoting degrees in early childhood education. We're not quite there yet, but there are some opportunities such as UVic Child and Youth Care. Capilano College has a ECE degree program. Thompson Rivers accepts students into their teaching program. So there are a couple opportunities to transfer your 2 years with us to another institution. Any questions on this one, this slide? Not yet, okay. So just a brief, we do have fun. There is a lot of work in our program, but we try to have fun as well. I like Meg DeGerber. She's a icon for supporting how we work with our young children. Childhood is not a race to see how quickly a child can read, write, and count. It's a small window of time to learn and develop at the pace that is right for each individual child. Earlier is not better. Ideally, the window of opportunity for learning for young children is so great in the age between 0 to 5, and we try to promote and support that development as best as we can through our program. All right. So like I say, there is a lot of theory. Our students developed some quite cohesive group work and connections with each other they spend so much time together in our program. So here's some fun opportunities for when children come. You get to practice and make, visuals and presentations to share them to community. National Child's Day is coming up here pretty soon. Students make posters and share and advocate for that as well. And we promote outdoor support. Getting children outside is so important for our healthy development. And there's so much we can do outside just as easily as what we do inside. Okay, any questions so far? All right. Our basic admission requirement is graduating from a BC school or equivalent, 19 years of age, or out of post-secondary school, English 12 with a minimum of 67%, or there's alternatives that are located on the OC website as well. You can see what the alternatives would be. General requirements, you have a first aid course done. You have a meeting with one of our instructors just to kind of review some of our policies, what it looks like in our classrooms. Basically, we go when we're face-to-face, we go Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 3:30. And that's kind of how our practicum schedule follows as well. Usually we do 2 months of theory and then 2 months of practical. Your first semester is kind of interspersed. There's theory and practical almost for the whole 4 months. And of course, a criminal record check. Any questions on the admission requirements or general requirements? Not yet, okay. The tuition, this number here is again on our website. Oh, we have someone else joining us. This is approximate total for all 4 of the semesters plus the infant toddler practicum and the textbooks. So this total here would incorporate approximately everything that's going to be needed for the 2 and a bit years you would be with us. And that's it for the ECE part. I will finish this so you can see it and then I'll stop screen sharing. So even though most of our services are online right now, everybody's still working in all departments at OC. So you can apply or reach out to the advisors, reach out to admissions, reach out to registrars if you have any questions. And again, here's the tuition giveaway in case you guys didn't get it yet and you're interested in it. All right, I am going to stop sharing. Okay, we sped through that one. Any questions, comments, thoughts?
Yes, I have.
So I'm from Ontario right now.
Okay.
And if I were to go back to Ontario after going to Okanagan College, do I have to be certified as an ECE out in Ontario? Or is it a one-time thing I do in BC?
Yeah, so transferring between provinces is a little bit different. I know our ECE registry. So if you were Googled on the Ministry of Children and Family Development, I'm sure Ontario has a similar webpage, but I don't know it. So in BC, if you Google into Ministry of Children and Family Development and becoming an early childhood educator, in there's a link or a tab that would say transferability, or how, say you were bringing courses from Ontario to BC or a certificate, they would help you go through that. So I'm sure Ontario would have the same thing. So I would check out with your ECE branch in Ontario and say, this is what I want to do in BC. How would it transfer over into Ontario?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I've heard from 2 sides that an early childhood educator can be a kindergarten teacher or can't. What can they be a kindergarten teacher or not?
No. So right now in BC, we have Strong Start programs in a lot of our elementary schools. So to work in a Strong Start program, you need to have your early childhood education certificate to practice. And what's happening right now is a lot of the Strong Start instructors will move in and support the kindergarten instructors when they're done their Strong Start program. I think it's a very similar model to what's happened in Ontario with the preschool teachers in the school system moving in and supporting the kindergarten teachers. So in BC, to be a elementary teacher or a high school teacher, you need to have a degree and a teaching certificate.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
One more question.
sure.
Um, so I live in BC, and I was just wondering, for the early childhood education course, does it only happen in the Kelowna campus, or does it also happen in the Vernon campus?
Yeah, so we had a one-time funding program that took place in Vernon last year. Those students graduated out in August. Right now, our only main full-time course is designated in Kelowna. There are other opportunities out there through different funding opportunities from the government that we might see something happen in Penticton, Vernon, Revelstoke, or Salmon Arm, but those we don't know when they're going to be offered to us or when we would have access to it. So right now there's nothing other than the Kelowna program.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions or thoughts?
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
coming on. Yeah, thanks for coming on. I'll be staying on till 11:30 just in case anybody pops in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.